All right, it's Thursday, February 14th. Welcome back to Damon Bruce Plus, brought to you by Ike's Sandwiches. And today's live stream is indeed also brought to you by BetUS. Thanks so much for stopping on by. I'm getting going a little bit earlier than I normally do here for the live stream because I got an appointment that I have to keep. We've got a short show today. It's really a rare one-subject show, but I got to get it off my chest. And let me just state for the record, the Warriors deserved to lose last night in Dallas. They really did. You cannot smoke all of those layups against a team that has no centers active or dressed tonight and complain about losing a basketball game. This isn't a segment that was born out of one basketball game. This is the greatest shooter of all time getting the worst whistle of all time, and all last night was further evidence is that this happens way too much. Steph Curry gets the worst whistle ever afforded an NBA superstar in the history of sports, in the history of basketball. There is no one who is clearly as big and bright and important star in any constellation as Steph Curry, who gets officiated as poorly as Steph Curry does. And Steph Curry is not poorly officiated because he's hard to officiate. That's what they used to say about Shaq and Hakeem and big guys, and they're hard to officiate. There's a foul against them every play. No, Steph is not hard to officiate. He's just poorly officiated. And the lack of quality officiating around this league is obviously a discussion point almost after every single game that is played in this league. But Curry really does get the worst whistle. And it's not because he's never attacking. I'm not even talking about the drives that he actually executes to the rim where he gets chopped in half and gets no whistle. I'm talking about all the off-ball movement, all the clawing, all the grabbing, all the pulling on the shorts or the jerseys, all the hooked arms, all the, leg inside the other leg, that was nearly a nut shot preventing you from running around as fast as you want to, Steph, as you're trying to relocate everywhere. Steph Curry's rate of being fouled off the ball is mind-numbingly ridiculous. When he's got the ball, for a guy who's got the ball in his hands as much as he does, the ratio of ball in his hands to being tightly guarded with the ball in his hands to feet at the free throw line, it's one of the worst ratios you will ever see in your lifetime. It is ridiculous. Let's talk about star treatment because it was on full display last night. Kyrie Irving, who was cooking. Man, Kyrie was fantastic last night. When we write the book about all-time Golden State Warrior killers, Kyrie gets his own chapter, and it's near the front. Kyrie Irving was dominant last night. He was spectacular. And he got all sorts of superstar on his home court getting a call. Biggest example of it happened on the same trip up and down the court. Steph Curry literally gets chopped in half driving baseline. He gets cut in half, no whistle to be found. Steph is picking himself up from underneath the field goal, and he's following the action back down the other end of the court, and there's Kyrie in the corner. I think it was Moody on him. Moody takes the bait. He puts his hand in, and Kyrie gets the rip-through foul. Going to the line for two. No! He's going to get 3 free throws because even though he wasn't in the shooting motion, the rip-through came through on the way to what might have been a 3-point shooting motion, and the superstar gets the benefit of the doubt. Kyrie Irving gets a much better whistle than Steph Curry does. I mean, shit, Brandon Pajemski almost gets a better whistle than Steph Curry does. It's nuts. And this isn't me crying. This isn't me whining. This is me who, I'm not saying that there's anything I know about sports that you don't know about sports, except for the fact I did make it my life's vocation. And I have spent an amount of time watching NBA games either in person or on TV that's easier measured in years than it is months. I've been watching an awful lot of basketball, specifically Warriors basketball, over the last 20-something years, and there is nobody in this league who gets a worse call than Steph Curry every single time I look up. Kyrie gets it. Jimmy Butler gets that game-deciding charge call going against him, offensive foul. Who picked up that call? It was Kyrie Irving. Look, that was a charge. Jimmy absolutely squared up his body. It was a charge. Kyrie positioned himself perfectly, but everybody's saying, look at the feet. Look at the feet. The feet aren't set. The feet aren't set. Kids, this isn't a Big 12 game. This isn't a Big 10 game. This isn't an AAC game. Officials are not hounding letter of the law freshmen, sophomores in college to obey by the law. This is the NBA, and a star. Look, did Kyrie shuffle his feet a little bit? Yes, but that's feet set for a star at home getting star treatment while Jimmy Butler did run through him. That's a charge 100 out of 100 times. But his feet were shuffling a little bit. Again, it's the NBA. It's not the Big Ten. Everybody gets to shuffle their feet a little bit. That's what happens in this league. Again, right or wrong, doesn't matter. I've been watching. I know how this shit works. Curry has only averaged more than 5 free throw attempts per game in 5 seasons of his now 16-year-long NBA career. One of those seasons was a game where he only played 5 games before he had that wrist problem and he had to be shut down for the entire year. Another one of those seasons was 15-16 when he won an MVP. So again, there have been really we're talking 4 occasions, because we're going to throw the 5-game season out. There have been 4 occasions where Curry has gone to the free throw line more than 5 times in any game averaged over a year, and he wins an MVP 25% of the time when that happens. To further illustrate how good Steph Curry is at scoring and how little consideration he's gotten from the free throw line, look at this graphic right here. This is an old graphic now. This graphic came out more than 3 games ago. So take Steph Curry's point totals over the last 3 games and add them to this graphic, and you'll see that Steph Curry has scored 20,700 and change. God, he's been averaging 30. So I bet he's like 20,800 and change right now. This is the most points ever by a point guard without free throws. What is Steph Curry's career total if he has anything that looks like a normal amount of free throws for somebody who's handling that ball, is the focus of every defensive moment on a basketball court? I mean, until Jimmy Butler arrived, there was basically no one you had to guard other than Steph Curry. He would have 4 sets of eyeballs looking at him. He'd have, 4 sets of hands swiping at him. No calls. No calls. Ever. It's ridiculous. It really, really is. Again, the Stars whistle. The Stars whistle is an element of, oh man, this guy gets all the ticky-tack stuff. Steph Curry doesn't get foul calls when he is chopped in half with Wahoo McDaniels and double axe handle fouls. I mean, it is ridiculous. I'm not talking about Steph needs ticky-tack. I'm talking about Steph needs the same call that, bums in the NBA get. It's bad. It's really, really bad. And I'm dead serious. If I'm the Golden State Warriors, again, I said I'm not complaining about last night, but there were some moments in last night's game where I thought, all right, this is what I'm talking about during the show here. If I'm the Golden State Warriors, I am compiling a weekly montage of blown foul calls against my superstar, and I'm sending them not to the league office. I'm sending them to fucking Adam Silver's direct account. And I'm just saying, look at this. Look at what they're doing to one of the single most valuable players and assets, and one of the only people in the world that has a lot of people watching him when he plays basketball. The league doesn't have nearly the eyeballs that it used to. The further the Warriors go, better ratings get. I'm not saying rig the league for the Warriors. I'm just saying give Steph the kind of a whistle that you would give an NBA All-Star. Good Lord. It's driving me nuts. I need a sandwich. And I'm going to go to Ike's this afternoon. I need an Ike sandwich in my life. I think I need one today. I really do. He's got a shop down where I'm going. So I think I'm going to pop into Ike's in Burlingame and get myself a sandwich this afternoon. Man, I wish there were an Ike's near you. I hope there will be soon. Over 100 locations dotted up and down the West Coast, expanding eastward. Call a congressman, call an astronaut, call a superhero. You need an Ike's near you, or you have to move near to an Ike's. The best sandwiches in the world come from my man Ike. Sign up for that Love Rewards program. You'll be happy that you did. My boys at the Dubliner in West Portal. Man, I got to pop in there soon. Say hi to Kenny and John. Grab myself the best Guinness pour in San Francisco. Love those guys. Love the Dubliner West Portal. My kind of bar, if there ever was one. And let me just tell you, while you're thinking about betting overs, unders, whatever's coming up, this NBA All-Star game, lay off the whole thing. It's dead on arrival. We'll get to that in just a second. But go ahead and sign up using the promo code YouTube150 to get 150% sign-up bonus off your first deposit up to $2,000 over on BetUS. You can play no matter where you are over on BetUS. Look, I'm dead serious. I'm putting together that weekly montage of blown calls against my superstar, and I'm sending them. I think I'm going to blast them to the public. I think I'm going to blast them to the NBA league offices. I'm going to blast them to NBA officials. If I were Joe Lacob, I'd make sure every American gets that email. Look at what they're doing to our guy. Look at how poorly one of the greatest basketball players of all time gets officiated nightly by a group of officials. Excuse me. The two. Did I? Okay. A group of officials that we all know proves themselves incompetent. Who is better at their job every single night? Steph Curry or NBA officials? Who do you think gets it right more often than not? It's bad. By the way, cheers. I think we got a sip of the day candidate right here. Again, just the off the ball stuff. Forget even the chopped in half layups where he's tumbling underneath the basket. He's 3 rows out of bounds. Forget all that. Look at when he's moving without the ball. How he's grabbed and clutched and just held everywhere. I mean, you grab a girl by her hips that hard on a dance floor, she's going to know she's dancing with you. And you might turn around and get slapped. Curry is got way too many hands all over his hips. It's ridiculous. Again, I'm not asking for an increase in ticky-tack consideration. Make it happen. Make it happen. There was such an obvious missed kick ball at midcourt in that game. Again, I'm not complaining about losing to the Dallas Mavericks. It's embarrassing to lose to the Dallas Mavericks in the situation that they're in the feelings that they have around that franchise right now. I'm going to sneeze again. I know it. The kick ball was right at midcourt. It was in the middle of the basketball court, and the kick ball wasn't one of those like bounce passes that might have hit a foot. Maybe it glanced off an ankle. The kick ball was kicked by a leg that was so high, had the court been a sheet of ice, someone would have called high sticking. The kicked ball was kicked approximately ankle distance of a New York Rockette, Radio City Music Hall Rockette. It was the most obvious kickball in the history of kickball, and not a single member of that crew last night saw it. But everybody saw the rip through by Kyrie, which he never even tried to shoot, but he still got 3 free throws. Just ridiculous. By the way, last night was Steph Curry's 1,001st NBA game. 1,001 NBA games, and you can add another 147 playoff games to that man's career mileage. But his regular season total is now 1,001. It'll be 1,002. Warriors are back on the court this evening against the Houston Rockets. It's the Texas two-step. I simply cannot believe that Steph Curry still is not taking place in the three-point contest. I can't believe it. Like, unless they're setting this up to where they're going to let everybody go in the 3-point contest, and then they're going to say, hey, Steph Curry, come on out here in street clothes carrying a cocktail, and we're going to set up 5 racks for you. And, okay, so Steph Curry wasn't going to be in the 3-point contest, but he decided last minute he wants to do it. So here he is wearing a suit, carrying one of his kids. He's got a cocktail. You know, Aisha's got some popcorn for him, and he's literally like in street clothes winning the 3-point contest. If that happens, that'll be awesome. I don't think that they're going to let that happen, but it should. They really should let that happen. Steph Curry not participating in the 3-point contest in the building that he built. You know, that's the house that Steph built. Joe Lacob's money, Steph Curry's talent got that place. And again, it's just no Steph Curry in the 3-point contest being held in the gym where he's hung banners, in the building where he helped build it, in the city that he calls his own, that he's never going to leave. This would be like, I mean, why would you even bother? They're going to have Buddy Hield representing the Warriors. Like, Klay Thompson's not even involved. Like, put Klay Thompson out there so the hometown fans have somebody to root for. Buddy Hield's going to be in the 3-point contest, and I'm just telling you right now, I am growing more and more tired of watching Buddy Hield play basketball every single time I watch him play basketball. If you're looking for a reason beyond missed layups why the Warriors lost last night, I got 2 reasons. First name Buddy, last name Hield. He sucks when he's off. When he's off, he is just a net minus all over the court. Buddy Hield is like half as young as Curry is, and twice as big. And teams hunt Buddy Hield defensively much more than they've ever hunted Steph Curry defensively. They hunt him. He's awful defensively, and when his 3-point's not falling, he's awful offensively. There's like no in between with Buddy Hield. He'll either give you 18 or 3 points. That's it. I don't like him. I don't. No Steph, no Klay, 3-point contest, All-Star Weekend, Chase Center. That's like going to one of the greatest restaurants in the world and ordering grilled cheese. Like, what are we even doing here? Why did we gather here in this moment for this if that's not going to happen? What are we doing? By the way, speaking of 3-pointers, there are way too many 3-pointers being shot in this league. We all know that. Hold on. Woo! Yeah. I got like a stalactite tickle booger way up high in the nostril that is creating some of this. Maybe I can jar it loose a little. So I'm getting an awful lot of bless yous in the chat. Thank you very much. Bless you. I appreciate. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, Buddy Hield, great first month, and the guy absolutely disappeared. You know, it's just I don't get it. I don't get it. A 3-point contest in San Francisco without Steph Curry, without Klay Thompson. Like I was saying, speaking of 3-pointers, there's way too many of those these days. There really are. And last night was maybe a breaking point. Now, in the NBA's defense, because we're getting close to wrapping up the first portion of the year and the All-Star break is here, every single team in the league was on the court last night. So every team played yesterday. Because of that, and because everybody in this league now thinks they can shoot the 3 like Steph Curry does, NBA players Wednesday combined to take 1,119 3-pointers. That is the single most 3-point attempts on any day in NBA history. It's too many. The Warriors shoot too many threes. I mean, especially you, Buddy Hield, when you can't hit anything. Steph had a bad night from downtown. Nobody shot well last night. This is by the way, I think I love Jimmy Butler because Jimmy Butler's not even here to take a 3. Jimmy's not looking for threes. He's not hunting threes. He gets his threes the old-fashioned way. And one. I like that about Jimmy. The last thing this team needs is another guy thinking, I can shoot two. The most three-point attempts on any single day in NBA history, 1,119. It's a lot of threes. Look, Steph Curry needs a better whistle, and he's not the kind of guy who's going to like pull a James Harden. I'm going to grow a beard, and I'm going to use this beard to get calls. James Harden's beard got more calls than Steph Curry's had. James Harden grew a beard so he could throw his chin up and have this huge ramp of hair go straight up in the air, looking to buy him foul calls. And James Harden would lead the NBA in, free throw attempts for so many years in a row. Steph needs to get better at buying calls. I mean, I don't know how much there's left to teach him, year 16 now, but I wish Steph would be a little bit better about selling some of these calls that he's looking to pick up. And this isn't about flopping, but this is skullduggery. You need more. I mean, if Steph Curry averaged 10 free throws a game instead of 5, which he's only averaged 5 times in 16 years, but if Steph Curry were on the line, 5 more times a night, the Warriors are a 3 seed. Like, that's the difference here. A small handful of nearly guaranteed points by a 92% career free throw shooter. These are guaranteed turn around your season, small handfuls of points every night that the Warriors don't get extended to them. Anyway, let's get it better. Let's get it right. Steph, you need to work a little bit harder. Steph, honestly got no complaints about your entire career until this week. And my career complaint is simply this: for a guy who is absolutely an entertainer, for a guy who is absolutely a people pleaser, for a guy who says, he might be nursing a little something with his thumb. The reason why he's not taking place in the 3-point contest is because, dude, he's playing basketball right now. He's fine. Steph Curry is officially fine. I can't believe he's not playing in this 3-point contest. I really can't. This entire All-Star week has been built to be the single most dead-on-arrival sporting event in San Francisco in a very, very long time. First of all, I just got a little curious. Every single thing is the price is set to go fuck yourself when it comes to walking into Chase Center for an All-Star game. We all knew that. There was no deal to be found on an All-Star game, but there should be. Because this All-Star game, it's all over the place. Like, no one can even generate a curious attempt to figure out what the new All-Star format's going to be. It's like a pickup game of some sort of, you guys play them, but they play them in a round-robin style. I don't even know what the rules are. I don't even care. The fact that it's just not hey, great talented players are going to go play a game against each other means these guys don't even really want to be out here playing. I do guarantee you this: regardless of format, the effort will be negligible through 80% of the game. Then at the very end, when somebody's close to winning, somebody's going to try. And they'll be like, oh, look at these guys really trying tonight. No, they'll try for a handful of minutes when a game gets close. Otherwise, the whole thing's going to be going through the motions. But seriously, you got this stupid actual All-Star game format. Then when it comes to like All-Star Saturday night, you got the biggest collection of, I've never heard of these guys participating in the dunk contest, which is now like fashionable. That every single year, it's a collection of two-way guys and G Leaguers who are invited. It's the Mac McClung All-Stars who get to take place in the dunk contest. You got, you're not going to get the Steph versus Sabrina ayahuasca or whatever her freaking name is. You're not going to get that game of horse, which I think they did the last time that people kind of leaned into. So you're not going to get that. You're not going to get a Klay Thompson. Again, you get Buddy Hield in your 3-point contest. If that's not enough to make you not want to watch that, I don't know what more you could possibly want. And look, I mean, nobody's going to bust their ass. This whole All-Star week is just dead on arrival. It's anything you see that is a last minute, come on out, this is awesome, this is hyped up, this is cool, this is where all the cool kids are going to be. No. I don't think there's no local flair at all. If you're at the NBA All-Star game, you're a tourist this weekend, basically. It's like Alcatraz. Locals aren't at Pier 39. I don't know anybody who's going to this All-Star game. I don't know anybody. I mean, when there's a big sporting event, my phone rings all the time in the Bay Area. Nobody's called me about, hey, Damon, you want to get together? I'm coming into town. You want to do this, that, the other thing? We're doing this All-Star game. You want to do nothing. Nothing. It's going to be a big corporate circle jerk. Like, oh, there's a T-Mobile party. Do you want to go to the T-Mobile part? No, not really. I'm just surprised that Steph isn't doing it. But again, he's a people pleaser. He wants to entertain, right? I mean, the guy, he's got his own production company. He's making his own sitcoms. He wants to entertain. I saw a story reference coming out of Vanity Fair where I guess he and Aisha have said that they want to both host Saturday Night Live one day. You know, she's got incredible charisma. Actually, I think even more than Steph. See, here's the thing. You can hand Steph the playbook. He'll learn the lines. He'll run the play, and he's got enough personality to deliver it. But Steph isn't what I'd call just a natural personality. I think he's a genuine guy, which means he doesn't try to be more than he really is. But there's a reason why Steph's sound bites don't, proliferate the shows that you listen to. Unless he really gets in depth and in detail about something, Steph is not, this, let's listen to Steph talk. He's going to, he's Draymond. He's going to say something really clever or interesting or funny or snappy, or he's just not that guy. But I bet you he could read the cue card. He could deliver the line. He's enough of an entertainer to do that. Steph Curry, Aisha Curry, Saturday Night Live. Yeah, I could see that happen one day. I bet you'd be pretty good at it too. Again, I'm just absolutely flabbergasted. He's not taking place in a 3-point shooting contest when there's nothing wrong with him. I don't want to hear about it. Well, his thumb, his hanging. I don't know. He's fine. He played last night. He's fine. Very, very weird. Very odd. Got Kenny here saying, Damon, the Pro Bowl sucks too. Yes, the Pro Bowl always sucks. Football without defensive intensity sucks. Any sport without intensity sucks. And there's no intensity at all to be found anywhere. Anywhere. In an all-star game, in a Pro Bowl. Major League Baseball's all-star game is good because it's at least a simulation of Major League Baseball. This is what games actually look like and feel like and play like, and there's some similar there. The NHL all-star game, can't watch that either. Just terrible. Barry Ford. By the way, Barry and Mary are spokesmodels for some of the merch that they've picked up. Barry, always great to see. He's checking in. Go Grizzlies. Sorry, Bay Area. I love y'all. There you go. Thank you for picking up the merch, Barry. Your lovely wife, Mary. Thank you so very, very much. Appreciate it all. Pressure Flippers with a big Z. Says, Damon Bruce, you're tripping. If Steph was on Nike and played for the Lakers, he would be plastered on every NBA, ESPN, FS1, etc. platform and be the most charismatic player in the history. Gaslighting. No, dude, Steph Curry is not hurting for attention at all. I'm just saying Steph Curry, the orator, Steph Curry, the I have something to say, is not a voice that people come running from everywhere to listen to. He's always been a little staccato in his delivery. He's a little choppy in his thoughts. He's always measuring twice and cutting once, which is why he's a smart, perfect face of the franchise. He never says stupid shit. He never shoots from the hip. And because of that, there's not a lot of spontaneity in the way that he talks. It's carefully calculated thing. And this is smart. I'm not criticizing him, but I just, look, for someone who sat in a billion athlete talking situations, I would not put Steph Curry among the greatest talkers I've ever seen. But I bet you'd do a pretty good job on Saturday Night Live because he would coach up and prepare for that moment. It wouldn't be an off the cuff thing. It would be scripted. Either way, Erwin just saying, hey, man, hit that like and subscribe. Please do. Thank you so very, very much. I'm just stunned he's not taking place in it. And it absolutely devalues the entire weekend. It would be the equivalent of booking that long lifetime trip to Egypt. And then when you get there, you find out that the Sphinx and the pyramids all took the week off. I came all the way to Egypt to not see the pyramids? You're going to come all the way to Chase Center to not watch Steph Curry on Saturday night in the three-point contest? Okay. Who the fuck has come up with this plan? I came here for the Sphinx. Where's the Sphinx? Unbelievable. All right, the only other sports topic to make this show today before we get into our history lesson, and then I got to get going and get to my appointment. But the only other sports topic to make this show today is that the Jets have parted ways with quarterback Aaron Rodgers, and anyone who has Aaron Rodgers connected or linked to the 49ers should be beheaded immediately. No, it is the wrong time. It is not the right time to get into the Aaron Rodgers business. It is not. That ship has sailed a long time ago. That time has passed. No, thank you at all. By the way, Barry coming in again with a super saying, I'd take Steph over John Morant. Sorry, Grizzlies. Yeah, the whole world would take Steph over John Morant. Steph has much fewer Instagrams with guns and suspensions. Although I do really hope that Ja gets his shit together because he's so special. Anyway, thank you, Barry. Aaron Rodgers, no to the 49ers. Reject any and all segments or information or talking or conjecture. The stalactite booger's still driving me nuts. I'm not just going to go in there and get it on the live stream, but I'm going to have to handle this quickly. Aaron Rodgers to the 49ers makes no sense at all, but Aaron Rodgers to the Raiders makes a lot of sense. If I'm Pete Carroll and the Raiders, I'm bringing in Aaron Rodgers right now. I'm bringing in Aaron Rodgers because Aaron, even though he is a distraction in a lot of things, he still is technically also Aaron Rodgers. He's a pro. I think when it comes to on-field stuff, he still gets more things, right than wrong. And the Raiders are looking to install a culture of credibility. That's what Pete Carroll is there to do. I think Pete Carroll could look at Aaron Rodgers and just say, hey, man, run my shit. And Aaron will be able to do that professionally. They have no real options other than Aiden O'Connell. And I think that that's a quick way to make sure that you got no shot at all to compete next year. If I'm the Raiders, I'm calling Aaron Rodgers. I don't want Aaron Rodgers' name anywhere around the San Francisco 49ers. There you go. There's the only other sports topic for today. It is time for your day in history. Are you ready? Happy birthday to Peter Gabriel, who turned 75 years old. Now, in sports, you want a trade that works out for everyone, right? You want both parties satisfied at the end of a trade. This is what Dallas Mavericks fans are saying. Genesis traded Peter Gabriel for Phil Collins. Well, Peter Gabriel left Genesis for a solo career, and they replaced Peter Gabriel with Phil Collins. Do you know the story there? The story is that they were bringing in new lead singers, and to show these new lead singers how they wanted the songs sung, Phil Collins would come from out behind the drum kit and give an example to the guy who was auditioning to be the next singer of Genesis. Like, here's how it should sound. And finally, halfway through the audition process, they're like, I think it was Mike Rutherford, who's one of the other guys in Genesis. He's like, dude, nobody's better than you, Phil, singing these songs. Could you be our new lead singer? Drum less, sing more. And that's how Phil Collins got the Genesis gig. Peter Gabriel, very avant-garde with Genesis, was better as a solo artist. Genesis got better when Peter Gabriel left it, and Peter Gabriel got better when he left Genesis. All of his great stuff is his solo stuff. I mean, his one really good Genesis song is Lambs Lie Down on Broadway. Outside of that, it's really weird. He's got some weird shit with Genesis. Anyways, Peter Gabriel, I hate to say it, one of the worst concerts I ever went to was just last year at Chase Center. My wife and I were so bored. It was so boring. Nobody stood up once during the entire thing. I guess he played Sledgehammer and everybody got up for a minute, but it was the most, I think even Peter Gabriel was sitting down during the concert. It was painfully bad. I wanted it to be great. It's Peter Gabriel, for fuck's sakes. I thought it was going to be awesome. It wasn't. One of the more disappointing concerts I've ever been to was Peter Gabriel at Chase Center. Anyway, happy birthday, Peter. 75 years old. In Your Eyes still totally kicks ass. Salisbury Hill, great song. I love the live version of Steam that he's got on that live album. He's like live in Brazil or something like that. Happy 64th birthday to Henry Rollins. Punker, poet, skateboarder. Henry Rollins had a moment in time right when I was in college. 'Cause I'm a liar. Henry Rollins is fucking cool, man. Happy birthday, Henry Rollins. He's 64. And a very happy 48th birthday to Randy Moss, who I'm sure is very happy to be celebrating a birthday. He just had a cancer scare. That's why he was offset at ESPN for the last third of the football season. Randy Moss, I guess, is beating cancer. He's coming back. That's good. I think everybody likes Randy Moss. I know I do. Happy 48th birthday, Randy Moss. Here's to many more healthy ones. Cheers. Let's see. What did I tell you? Anybody who's got the 49ers and Aaron Rodgers linked together should be beheaded. Well, today in 1542, King Henry VIII had it with Catherine Howard, who was his fifth wife. He accused her of adultery and then beheaded her. Oh, it was a different time, folks. I guess you had to be there. that was a way to settle marital disputes when you were the King of England, apparently. I'm not happy. I think she cheated. I'm going to go check her DMs and her text messages. And he probably saw a whole bunch of lords and ladies sliding up into her DMs back on, mid-century 1542 London Twitter. He checked out those DMs and he said, bring me the axe. Sorry. Cheaters get dealt with back in 1542. She probably didn't do it. Probably set up. Today in 1906, a patent was issued to Alfred Einhorn. Einhorn, is his pet detective? No. Alfred Einhorn, he synthesized something that was called Procaine, and it was given the trade name of Novocaine. The last time you went to the dentist and it didn't hurt nearly as bad as it did, this thanks to this guy. There you go. In 1906, Novocaine, comfortably numb, was invented. Nice job, Alfred. Today in 1946, the world's first electronic digital computer, which was called ENIAC, E-N-I-A-C. It stood for Electrical, Numerical, Integrator, and Calculator. It was first demonstrated at the Moore School of Electrical Engineering at the University of Pennsylvania. Go Penn. Today in 1946, I heard these computers would be a big deal. Stick around, see where they go. Again, I would have been around in 1946. I would have looked at the computer and I would have said, I'm going to have a career in radio. That's going to be a good thing to do. And having said all that, today is World Radio Day. What does that mean? I don't even know anymore. A day to recognize the power of radio and celebrate its potential to bring people together and promote understanding. Well, I'm going to tell you, I don't know how the radio's doing in the rest of the world. In the Bay Area, in America, it absolutely sucks right now. Corporate greed, bad decisions, poverty franchises, and stupid people elevated to managerial roles because they worked for less money has helped take a once great industry and reduce it to something that nobody under the age of 30 ever listens to. I watched radio fuck it all up from a front row seat, and now that I'm in the bleachers, I can see even more. It's staggering what radio once was and what it is now, and the amount of bad decisions along the way that led to its downfall. It is gross. Today in 1965, we got one of our all-time athletic darlings, 16-year-old Peggy Fleming, Won the senior figure skating title at Lake Placid, New York. She would go on to become a gold medalist, and Peggy Fleming would give birth to her own unique hairstyle that to this day is still called the Peggy Fleming. What else have we got? Oh, again, a rough day for the aristocrats. Not only was King Henry VIII lopping off heads back in 1542, but today in 2002, Scottish Parliament passed Protection of Wild Mammals Bill, which made it illegal to hunt wild mammals with dogs, effectively outlawing fox hunting in Scotland. It's a rough day for the red-coated horse riders blowing bugles crowd. Sorry, it's about time the aristocrats took one in the shorts. It really is. 2002. No more fox hunting. Finally, the single most important thing that has ever happened on the planet happened today, February 13th, 1987. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit of the importance of this movie. But if we really had to put together a list of all-time Hall of Fame, first ballot, great, objectively terrible movies, again, great and terrible all at the same time. A first ballot Hall of Famer was released today, February 13th, 1987, Over the Top. Sylvester Stallone's arm wrestling movie came out today in 1987. I've seen this movie 50 times. So when I put the hat on backwards, it's like a switch. Is a flip the switch. Did you know that Sylvester Stallone actually got sued by an arm wrestler who says that his over-the-top patented lock the thumb in move that he makes in the final big arm wrestling match that ends the movie, that was stolen? Like you stole my dunk, you stole my end zone celebration, you stole my technique. Sylvester Stallone got sued for that. I don't think he had to pay any money. I think he got away with it. But again, this was a movie about arm wrestling starring Sylvester Stallone, and it did give us one of the great power ballads of all time by Kenny Loggins. Meet me halfway across the sky. Meet me halfway across the sky. Go listen to it this afternoon. Watch Over the Top tonight. Thank you for watching today's show. I really do appreciate it. As always, we thank our sponsors. We thank everyone who has leaned in, hit liked, and subscribed today. We thank Barry, who has dropped some super chats on us. We thank We thank our sponsors. We thank Ike of Ike Sandwiches, as always, for helping us keep the lights on over here. Go get yourself the best poured Guinness in all of Northern California, the Dubliner, West Portal. Love that place. Thank you, guys. And again, if you're thinking about making a play or two, get yourself over to BetUS and use promo code YouTube150 when you do that. And there we are. That is the show. I thank you all so very, very much for watching today. Have a great one. And remember, no matter where you are, sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Meet me halfway across the sky.